All right, I'm actually really annoyed about something that just happened here in Australia. The Australian government have just opened up its borders to allow ISIS brides, aka ISIS members, back into the country after they fled a few years ago to join ISIS, to become brides of these ISIS fighters, where they helped in the executions, the slavery, the crucifixion, the sex trafficking of Yazidi girls, you name it. Every disgusting thing that you know about Islamic terrorists, they were doing. And now they are wanting to come back to Australia, and the Australian government have said, yeah, okay, why not do that? Like, for goodness sake, I have parents that are in the UK. I would do anything to help them move to Australia, to be around their grandkids, right? I would love to do that. This kind of thing is extremely difficult. You have to have tons of money in the bank. You have to pay all these lawyer fees, and you have to go through all these hoops, and even then you might get declined. But if you're an ISIS bride, if you've gone over to Syria to fight for ISIS, they'll just welcome you back into the country. Now, I'm going to play you a couple of video clips just so you understand the gravity of everything that these people were involved with. Check this out.
Melbourne's ISIS brides are hoping to walk free on bail today, despite being accused of crimes against humanity. The mother and daughter duo will front a Melbourne court today, facing a series of incredibly disturbing allegations. Authorities are also expected to push for the charges to be upgraded to terror-related offences. The women will need to prove exceptional circumstances if they hope to secure bail. For more, we're joined by criminal lawyer Jahan Kalanta. Good morning to you. They're extremely serious charges, so extreme, we're told the court will take 90 minutes to read them. How rare is this charge, crimes against humanity?
I think that we're experiencing maybe the first articulation of these crimes in modern history. This is something that is extraordinarily rare, and we're seeing legal history play out in real time.
So what sort of detail will we get in court today?
Well, in Melbourne, they tend to read out everything in vivid detail, and so we will have a far better articulation of what this mother and daughter duo have allegedly done during their time as part of the ISIS caliphate.
Now, we know that there are about 4 ISIS brides that have come back to Australia, including their 9 children. Now, I don't blame the children, all right? I don't know what circumstances they were raised in, but we need to actually understand what this means. This creates a direct threat for Australians, and here is why. This guy is about to read out what one of these ISIS brides has written or said publicly, which should send a shiver up your spine. Watch this.
Herbert has the call.
Kill the kuffar, the non-believer, in alleyways, stab them and poison them. Poison your teachers. Go to haram restaurants and poison the food in large quantities. Our husbands die on the front lines. That doesn't stop women in the West from sending their husbands to kill the kuffar. Attack the UK, Australia and US. It wasn't me who wrote this. This is a quote from an Australian ISIS bride. There is no such thing as an ISIS bride. These are ISIS members, ISIS sympathisers. This ISIS member also stated, all you have to know is that the next time I will step into Australia is when we come and make it a part of the Islamic State. Oh, I do miss my family. Well, I think you'll miss yours soon. Well, in 2019, this ISIS member had her citizenship stripped off her. Rightly so. But unfortunately, under this government, under this Labor Prime Minister, in 2023, her citizenship was reinstated. This ISIS member now lives in Melbourne. Allowing ISIS members to return and roam free puts Australians at risk. ISIS behead people, light them on fire, kill innocent women and children, and inspire terrorist attacks. Why won't this Labor government stand with the coalition and shut the door on these ISIS members?
Yeah, that is the question we all need to be asking. And the thing is, we know what these ISIS brides have done. Like, we understand what kind of crimes they're involved with. We know that they were joining ISIS. They were part of that whole network of terror. They were taking part in public executions, sexual slavery, beheadings, crucifixions, Yazidi slave trafficking. We know that they were helping to prepare girls to be exploited. We know that they were, directly marrying into these, higher ups in the kind of ISIS world. We know that they were helping to recruit foreign fighters. They were helping to facilitate travel to Syria. There's something that I heard recently, although I can't verify it, that said that more Australian Muslims flew over to join ISIS than joined the Australian military. This kind of shows you where the allegiance really stands. We know that they are connected to a network of Australian Islamic extremists as well, the likes of which you saw at the Bondi attack last year. There are many other stories here. They were publicly praising ISIS on social media, appeared in ISIS propaganda videos, raised children inside these ISIS camps. Obviously, these children were fathered by these, ISIS fighters. Posed in photographs glorifying ISIS life with guns and militant headbands and calls for supporting the caliphate. The list really does go on, but get this. They were part of this whole project which carried out genocidal massacres against the Yazidis, enslaved thousands of women and girls, filmed executions and beheadings, used child soldiers, burned prisoners alive, and conducted systemic rape and torture. And their kids, these poor kids who have been groomed on this ideology of terror, have been taught exactly the same kind of stuff that children in Gaza get taught, which is how to behead people, right? So check out this textbook. This is from Hezbollah, which teach children how to properly behead the non-Muslims. There are many other books exactly like this. They do drills and exercises holding AK-47s. When I grew up in Iran as a kid, I must have only been about 6 or something, 5 or 6, about the age of these kids. You would not believe the amount of toy guns I had. It was pushed on kids heavily to have like toy AK-47s, grenades, pistols. And all my friends had them in Iran, and I had loads of them. And on TV, in between cartoons, they're showing Hezbollah fighters shooting AK-47s into the sky, shouting Allahu Akbar. And you're being programmed as a kid. And so rest assured that these ISIS bride kids are getting like that on steroids, and they probably saw it with their own eyes. They've probably, been right there when beheadings have taken place. There is stories actually of an Australian guy with his 4-year-old son traveling to Syria, beheading someone, and then making the child hold up the severed head for a photo. So all of a sudden, under Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, let's welcome them back in. And it's insane. I would give anything for my parents to be able to move to Australia. And there are many people out there that would love to move to Australia, that would contribute to society, that have family here, that love Australia, that are patriotic, that are protective of Australia, want the best for Australia. And they're not being welcomed in. They have to either pay, tens of thousands of dollars for immigration agents. And even then, they're not guaranteed a place. They need to be under a certain age. They need to have a ton of money in the bank. All these things make it very difficult. And yet, if you're an ISIS bride who's done some of the worst things imaginable, right, the crimes against humanity, welcome back in. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Now, as a Christian, I believe in forgiveness, but I also believe in not being stupid, all right? We can forgive people without having to welcome the threat back into the midst where we're raising our kids. And Australia is going to go down the same pathway as the UK, as France, Spain, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, the Netherlands, Norway. I mean, like, you name it. It's going to go down the same pathway where these once prosperous Western nations have now turned into absolute slums filled with grooming gangs and terror recruiting, right? And of course, I've said this before, actually on my podcast with Joanna Howe, which came out recently, which you can go check out. I say that the Bondi terror attack will not be the last one. They are planning the next one as we speak. Now, before we wrap up the video, I wanted to show you this because this is disturbing. These are the absolute cavemen thugs that were there to greet these ISIS brides at the court and at the airport. This is the Muslim beard, all right, where they shave off the mustache, because apparently this is the kind of beard that Muhammad had. And so if you want to be like Muhammad, you have to have the same beard, which also is a public declaration that you support marrying 6-year-olds, consummating that at the age of 9, sucking the tongues of little boys, committing jihad, chopping off the heads of Christians. If you see this beard, it means that they idolize Muhammad, all right? And so these are the kinds of thugs that you're going to see there. And check this out, okay? So this is one of the ISIS brides, and she's got her big entourage of Islamist thugs And watch what happens when a journalist asks a question, a very reasonable question.
Why did you marry an ISIS terrorist?
Did you get that? Why did you marry an ISIS terrorist? Reasonable question. And listen to what this guy says again.
Why did you marry an ISIS terrorist?
This right here, that is the attitude of someone who is an ISIS jihadist, right? He's calling her this S word because in his mind, she's a kuffar, she's an infidel. She's not Muslim, she's not covering her hair, therefore, she's an S word. You deserve it. You deserve to be humiliated. You deserve to be groomed and exploited sexually, right? In Islam, within the Quran, non-Muslims are called the worst of all creatures, below cockroaches, below maggots, below filth, below virus. So, of course, he's going to say that to someone. So you know exactly what this guy believes. Just on that one sentence, you have a window into everything this guy believes. All right? And here he is protecting this ISIS bride who's just got finished coming back from Syria, where she was involved in the slave trade, in genocide, in crucifixions, in beheadings, you name it. And these women are coming back here and they're going to try and make the case in court through taqiyya, which is the Islamic form of lying to further the goals of Islam. They're going to lie through their teeth and say, oh, I was coerced. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was kind of swept up into the wrong crowd. Excuse me, what? The wrong crowd? The wrong crowd are there greeting you. They're your friends. They're protecting you. This is the whole entourage you have here, the wrong crowd. The only way you can truly repent of all of this stuff with ISIS is to leave Islam, because ISIS is the logical conclusion of actual Islam. It is. It's literally living a life that is very, very close to what Muhammad was doing. So the fact these women are showing up back in Australia with full Islamic garb on tells you something, doesn't it? Doesn't it? But of course, the Australian court system is very unlikely that they'll be able to see past the lies. Because in a high trust society, we take for granted that when you walk into a court and you say, you know, you put your hand on the Bible, in this case, they're going to put their hand on the Quran and say, I solemnly swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and the whole truth, right? They don't understand within Islam, you're allowed to lie. Sure, go ahead and do it. If it protects Islam, it protects you and your goals within the context of spreading Islam. Who cares? They're the kuffar anyway. They're worthless. Lie to them. Do whatever you want to them. Right? These people are ISIS members. Now look, I believe in forgiveness, but I also believe in not being stupid. And when you're welcoming these people back, you're emboldening this group of thugs who are the same people connected to the kinds of people doing the kind of Bondi shoot-ups. I don't understand why Australia thinks that this is a good idea. I honestly don't understand it. Anyway. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Please share this video on. Maybe it'll knock some sense into someone. Give this video a thumbs up. Do what you need to do to help me boost this video and get it out there, because Australia is literally one of the best countries in the world. And like it was said in this original clip here, where the guy is talking about what this ISIS bride said, is that they'll only come back to Australia when it's, you know, to turn Australia into part of the Islamic State and Caliphate. And here they are on Australian soil. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Subscribe to the show. I'll speak to you in the next one. God bless.